us via Zoom, and so is
Chrissy?
Karen, yeah, oops. But I need my meeting ID. Hold on, Sally, 1 second.
Do you want me to read it to you, or can you?
Yeah. Except the
It
name.
is 8787-0498.
Oops.
Or
And I think whoops. There is a way to record. How do I do that? I forget.
Yeah, I'm missing there. I missed that. Wouldn't be immediate if I didn't miss one.
it'll transcribe it, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Recording
it's
in progress.
Alright.
Eileen, is
Yes.
the Zoom link, is it on the town's website?
This one?
Yeah.
No, do you want it?
Yeah, just because when I'm up, I'll have
Oh,
a presentation I can share my screen.
Here, I'll forward. Wait, didn't I send that to you?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's alright. It's, it's in that email that I just sent you.
Alright, we ready?
Almost, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Now,
I'd like to call the select board meeting of April 6th, 2026 to order. Item 2 is additions or deletions to the agenda.
okay, so I think we wanted to move the executive session to the top. I put the wrong date for the meeting minutes, it should be 3/16, not 3/02. I don't know that, Jessica Soteria will be here to talk about her concerns, so we may want to remove that. But she may show up, so maybe we should just leave it.
I'll just leave it and we can skip over it.
All right, and then 11, the NDRC and EDA grant funding ratification is not needed.
11B?
11B.
Yep. Anyone can make those motions.
I would move to put the executive session at the beginning of the meeting and eliminate 11B and amend the date on the meeting minutes as noted.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so item 3, executive session under 1 VSA 313A2, negotiating or securing of real estate purchase or lease options.
You have that, should be at the bottom. No, I put it at the top.
No,
You
yep,
did.
yeah, you already put it there.
Yes.
Ahead of this,
I'm
Here.
proactive.
I move to enter executive session under 1 VSA Section 313A2, negotiating or securing a real estate purchase or lease options, and invite the town administrator and
Tina,
our treasurer, Tina, into this session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, everybody on Zoom, I'm gonna
too. Yes.
Alright, moving on to item 4, minutes approval, meeting of 3/16/2026.
I move to approve the minutes of the select board meeting of 3/16/2026.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 5, select board pay orders.
You go ahead.
I move to approve the pay orders for payroll and accounts payable.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 6, visitors, or announcements and correspondence.
Okay, so, everybody notice our TV way back over there? So it's in there, it's been mounted, it's been, we have internet connection. We haven't figured out how to mount the, camera yet, but we're gonna get there. We've ordered a TV, a computer.
Pete has it, yeah.
Pete has it, so that's getting configured. So hybrid meetings are imminent. So once that's up, we'll test it amongst ourselves and unleash it on you, and then this setup will go downstairs hopefully permanently. So that's cool. Office staff emails have been converted from .org to .gov. For the most part, there's been no hiccups. Liam had an issue this morning, where he lost access to his stuff, but it's just Liam, so we don't care. But no, good timing. There he is. I didn't mean that. So select board and any straggling emails are next. So I'll give you guys a heads up before we do it. But I figure we've been doing it on Fridays.
I didn't have to do anything, so.
I think I had to log back into my OneDrive.
Yeah, I had some
Yeah.
issues with OneDrive, but
Yeah.
once I logged back in, I was fine.
Yeah,
So
same.
it might depend on how you use it, but it's just picking on Liam. That's all. So that should be the end of the website project.
Yeah.
So that's good. The South Village wastewater project is out to bid, which is really exciting. The bid opening will be May 5th at 2 p.m. here. Pretty sure I will be here on May 5th, but you can still come if you want. All of you can come. It will be a party. Actually, that's not a good idea.
No.
Never mind.
I won't be here if anybody else wants to come.
Only 2 of you can come. The Spring Hill Culvert Project notice to proceed was issued. Wait, was it issued? Yes, it was issued.
The notice of award,
Notice of award, notice to proceed hasn't been issued yet.
not quite,
Not quite. It's almost being issued.
very soon.
Very soon. And there's some tree cutting, I guess, that needs to happen. And that will be done before the April 15th deadline. Town office will be closed tomorrow for staff training. The town was given a notice to proceed for grant funding from Northern Borders, which is why Karen is here. And the full application for that is due April 17th. I also had reach out back from Becca Balance and Bernie Sanders' office asking for additional information on the CDF request, the congressionally directed spending or funding, depending on who you ask, request that I put in for the wastewater system. And I will be out of the office this Friday. And then correspondence included in the board's meeting packet is, there was a summary of financials from Town Treasurer Tita LeBeau, a letter from DCF Economic Service Division notifying the town that the Emergency Housing Program, Winter Housing Program has ended as of, I think, April 1st. There was a letter from the U.S. Small Business Administration announcing economic injury disaster loans for businesses that were affected by freezing temperatures on January 21st of 2025, so that was last year. The due date for that is November 19th, 2026. There's more information is in the packet. Anybody who knows of somebody who was affected by that, please go check that out. There was a letter to the select board from Mary Mitchell Miller regarding concerns over the short-term rental ordinance, and the approved overweight permits for the last 2 weeks were Fuller Sand, Camp Precast Concrete, Consolidated Communication, QXO Incorporated and Gertie Brothers Construction. Busy.
Anything from the office?
What's that?
Anything from you guys?
Dogs are late now?
Yeah, dog registrations are late now, but we do have more registered before. They were late in the previous 2 years, so slowly getting there. Dog notices for late went out today in the mail, so.
Perfect, thank you. Item 7, visitors and concerned citizens. 7A is WRC Act 181 discussion. Matt Lockwood.
Good evening, everyone. I'm gonna share my screen here. There we go, okay. So yeah, thank you for having me this evening. I'm here just to talk about our regional plan update process. So this is
Turn
related
yours back on.
to Act 181. So I'm happy to answer other questions too related to Act 181, but I'm mostly here just to talk about when the regional commissions are kind of our role in the Act 181 changes. You've probably heard a lot of news recently about Act 181 and Tier 3 in the road rule, so I just want to say up front that when the regional is not involved in Tier 3 or the road rule, that's being handled by the new state land use review board. So I'll do my best to answer questions about that, but that's not our responsibility at all.
I think we are gonna ask Alex to come in at some point.
Great. So we're in the process of updating our regional plan. Our regional plan was last adopted in July of 2025. And we're required to update it every 8 years, but with the passage of Act 181, we're needing to make changes to our plan based on changes in statute. So just for those that aren't familiar with our regional plan, it provides policy guidance on growth and development in the region. It establishes a basis for actions that WRC takes and also for our work program. And then it serves as a policy basis for Act 250 permit applications that are deemed to be regionally significant. We will provide comments on those based on our regional plan and the policies in the plan. But unlike a town plan, our plan is only advisory, so it's not regulatory in any way. We don't have any permitting or land use regulatory authority, so our plan is really just an advisory document. Act 181. Okay.
Good for everybody? Except for you.
So I'll briefly, Act 181 includes a lot of changes in statute, but just at a high level, it makes changes to Vermont's land use planning and regulatory framework. So for regional planning commissions, Act 181 creates consistent future land use categories that we are required to map out across our region, and all 11 RPCs in the state are going through a similar process. So once we're done with this process, you would have a statewide kind of future land use map based on that work done by regional planning commissions. It also changes the state designation program. So Londonderry has 2 designated village centers here in South Londonderry and in North Londonderry. So the changes to the program are meant to make that program easier for towns to enroll in it. And so eligibility for that program is now through our regional plan and our regional mapping, which I'll talk about in a minute. For Londonderry, you don't need to do anything to keep your existing village center designations. Those just automatically transfer over. And then the third part of Act 181, the most significant change is to the Act 250 jurisdiction, so it creates a new system of tiers, and then depending on which tier and area of the state falls within, that would trigger Act 250. Currently, Act 250 is just based on the size of the project, so if it's of a certain size, an Act 250 permit is required. So this new tier system creates exemptions for some areas, and then Act 250 permitting for other areas that previously did not require Act 250 permit. So just some quick FAQs that I wanted to cover, and I know in your packet I did provide just a copy of a more complete FAQ document that we put together. These are just based on questions that we've been getting and meeting with towns about our regional plan update. So the regional future land use map does not impact or relate to Tier 3 of the road rule. So that's the land use review board that is responsible for mapping Tier 3 areas and developing the new rules for Tier 3. Areas that are mapped as rural conservation are not the same as Tier 3 areas, and it doesn't mean those areas need to be conserved. Most of what we've mapped as rural conservation is already under conservation, but just because an area falls within that classification doesn't mean it's going to be conserved. And then our regional future land use map, it's not regulatory, so it doesn't have an impact on your town's zoning bylaws. Again, it's just an advisory plan. So this is a map of Londonderry showing those future land use areas. Again, we're mapping out these land use categories across the entire region, but this is just showing the town of Londonderry. And so we've mapped out village centers in South Londonderry and North Londonderry. The areas shown in yellow are rural general, and I'll describe these just in a minute. The light green is rural agriculture and forestry, and then the darker green is rural conservation. And then there is also a resource-based recreation area, and that's shown around the Magic Mountain ski resort. So just in general terms, most of Londonderry falls within one of the three rural land use categories. So rural general, these are low density residential areas. They do include commercial development too, that's compatible with existing character of the area, productive lands and natural areas. Rural agriculture and forestry, these are larger blocks of agricultural land and forest land. Often those properties are enrolled in the current use program. This also can include low and very low density residential uses as well. And then rural conservation, these are areas that have some type of ecological value. It could be forest blocks, it could be large wetlands, other natural resources like that. Development in these areas just needs to make sure that it has minimal impact on natural resources. But again, these areas are not the same as what the Land Use Review Board is mapping as Tier 3. Village centers, so this would be for South Londonderry and North Londonderry. These are mixed-use historic town centers that include commercial, residential, and civic uses. Just to note, on our draft map, we are showing larger village centers for North Londonderry and South Londonderry. That would mean that more properties would be eligible for the benefits under the Village Center designation program. So those are historic tax credits and other tax benefits through the state. So we are trying to expand those a little bit. And with the Act 181 changes, there's just more flexibility for what gets included in the Village Center areas. And then finally, resource-based recreation areas. So these are larger scale recreational facilities in our region, often concentrated around ski resorts. They include infrastructure, jobs, and housing associated with those areas. For Act 250 and the new tier system. So regional planning commissions are only responsible for, our mapping is only related to tier 1, shown on the left-hand side. So these are areas really meant for additional growth and development. So we are mapping areas that are eligible for tier 1A, which is full exemption from Act 250, and tier 1B, which is exemption for housing projects that can be up to 50 units in size. Again, our maps aren't impacting local land use regulations, and how we are mapping areas doesn't change the characteristics of the parcels. And so areas that are eligible for tier 1 are village centers, downtown centers, and then village areas and planned growth areas, which are not shown in Londonderry. For tier 2, this is everywhere else that's not either within tier 1 or tier 3. Again, this is responsibility of the Land Use Review Board. Generally, tier 2 will be status quo, so just following the current requirements of Act 250 and whether or not a permit is required. But the new road rule will also apply to tier 2 areas. And then tier 3, these are areas with critical natural resources that the Act 181 legislation requires additional permitting through Act 250. Again, the Land Use Review Board is going through that process of mapping tier 3 areas and developing the new rules. They do have, the Land Use Review Board does have a draft map on their website of what they're currently showing as potentially tier 3 and draft rules. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that, I would just encourage you to look at their website for more information. I just wanted to mention for Londonderry, so Londonderry would not be eligible for tier 1A. One of the requirements for tier 1A is to have public water and wastewater, so you need both of those systems in place. You are very close to being eligible for tier 1B. The main thing you would need is including river corridor regulations in your zoning and having subdivision bylaws. And I know the current draft of the zoning that the planning commission is working on would cover those two requirements. So if those zoning changes went into effect, you would be eligible for tier 1B. And then the last requirement there is the town, it's entirely up to the town whether or not they want to request the tier 1B exemption. So we do have a template resolution for select boards to use. And part of that too is just affirming you have adequate staff capacity to coordinate development in the community. So in the regional plan update process, this is an opportunity for us to put in requests to the Land Use Review Board for tier 1B exemption, but depending on the timing of when the zoning, if the zoning changes do get approved, we can always do a separate request to the Land Use Review Board for tier 1B exemption at a later date too. So that's just something we'll stay in touch with the town about as we continue to work on our plan and you work on the zoning update project. So just going forward, the new State Land Use Review Board is required to approve our regional plan and the future land use map. Once they approve the land use map, you automatically get those state designations, like the village center designation. And then if you opt into tier 1, that becomes automatic too once the Land Use Review Board approves our plan. And just to give you a sense of our timeline, so we were doing background work last fall, just putting together draft maps. We've been meeting with towns this winter and spring. to review the maps and get input. Our goal is to have a draft of the plan done this summer that gets reviewed by the Land Use Review Board. They provide us with comments, and then we'll be submitting a final plan this fall. We're required to submit a plan by December 31st of this year under Act 181 requirements. So that's my update on what we're working on. I know there are a lot of questions about Act 181, so I'll do my best to answer any questions that you might have.
I know there's a lot of misinformation going around, but one thing that people have been saying is that in the tier 1 areas, it would basically bypass our zoning. Is that the only thing I've seen is in VLCT's guide is you get an extra level above what our zoning says.
Yeah, so if an area qualifies for tier 1, that is just exemption from Act 250, which is the state land use permitting requirement. So it would not exempt a project from local zoning regulations. So really it puts more responsibility, I guess, on the town because there's no state review. It's entirely up to the town to review that project. And so the town can continue to regulate land uses as it currently is under its current zoning bylaws, so you don't need to make changes. It just removes that one additional permitting requirement from a property owner or a developer. So it does make the process to develop for tier 1B, for housing, it makes it easier. For tier 1A, for any type of development, it makes it an easier process.
And is that true that, say, we only allow 2 levels in our zoning? VLCT said if you were in tier 1, it would mean you could do 3 levels, even though our zoning does not say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So if,
That's at least what VLCT's bullet point thing said.
you could, 3, like,
So,
levels in a building?
yeah,
Okay.
so our zoning says 35 feet, so
Yeah.
basically 2 levels.
Yeah,
VLCT's thing said that once you're in tier 1,
yeah.
that wouldn't matter anymore, you could go to a 3rd level.
Okay. I'm not sure, actually.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure out, I'm trying to make sense of all the misinformation going around and see what
Yeah.
is real and what is not.
Yeah, because I know, because there are requirements if a project's connecting to municipal water and wastewater,
Yep.
you're required to allow them to go to 4 stories in height, so that wouldn't apply here. So for tier 1A, you have to have water and wastewater, so I wonder if it's a distinction between tier 1B.
They didn't say if it was, so I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll look into it.
It was in their VLCT bullet points,
Okay.
Act 181. It was just one thing I saw in there.
It's a complicated piece of legislation.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
that's what it sounds like.
okay.
And do you have any sense of where the, S325 is currently? Because that would move the road rule back to 2030 and tier 3 to 2028.
So I think the latest version would move both to 2030, tier 3 of
2030.
the road rule. I know it's passed the Senate and that's in the House.
Yep.
And that's the latest I've heard.
Okay.
I think they were discussing it last week in the House, but I haven't seen any kind of summary of the discussion, so.
Mhm.
It seems like there's support for it, but I never wanna assume what the legislature's gonna do, but it seems like there's support for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had one question. I wondered if you could expand on the road rule a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of hard too, because it hasn't been finalized.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Well,
yeah,
I guess that's my question.
so just briefly, and it is, so in the talks about any development that includes a new road that is 800 feet or longer, that would trigger an Act 250 permit, or it's a combination of roads and driveways that are more than 2,000 feet in length. So if you had a subdivision, you know, a 10-lot subdivision, and you had multiple driveways and maybe a private road going in, and in totality it was more than 2,000 feet, but each individual segment was less than 800 feet. It wouldn't be, they're trying to close off that loophole.
It seemed like that's exactly what it was designed for, was like the cul-de-sac sort of came about from, it became a loophole to
Yeah.
go 799 feet and then just go from there and you're
Right.
good. And
Right.
now this is saying, well, once you go from there, they're gonna add it all up.
They're gonna have it all up, but
So,
and one of the things where there's some discussion is the 800 feet, if that's just for like a public or private road, or if that would be for a driveway too. And I've heard different thoughts on that. And it would make a difference if it's a driveway versus a road. So I think that's something that there's trying to get some clarification on. But it would, you know, potentially, the road rule jurisdiction would cover a lot more area than tier 3, because it's, and you know, 800 feet back from any road. If you
statewide,
need to, right,
yeah.
to put in a new road to access that area.
Yeah. And I know Alex, I can't remember his last name off the top of my head
Yeah.
from your presentation. He
Yeah.
said they might even change it to 2,000 feet period.
Yeah, and that's where it's, because we're kind of in this period where, for both tier 3 and the road rule, we're still in the rulemaking process. We don't know definitively what's gonna happen. But the S325, that bill, would give everyone more time to work on it, and to understand what's being discussed. So,
Yeah, I think that's how it kind of ties in with our local zoning is, you know, we're now reducing the number of homes on a driveway, so then it becomes a road. Like you were saying, it's the difference between a road and a driveway.
yeah.
So it's like all these different channels that
Yeah.
it affects it from a local level and the state level by the sound, so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I would just, the one thing I would just ask the select board to consider is, I know the zoning updates are still in process, but just if you can consider tier 1B exemption, I'm happy to, you know, come back at a future date and talk about that more. And if the timing works out, we can work with you to put in that request. As we're finishing up the plan, if the timing of the zoning project doesn't coincide, or if you want to think about it, we can always come back and talk about that later too.
And in tier 3, does that mean everything is Act 250 permit?
So
Or
that's-
is there exemptions? 'Cause I've kind of seen both, but
Yeah, so that's also being worked on now. So in the rulemaking process, the latest version, well, you know, currently under Act 250, you know, all forestry and agriculture is exempt from Act 250. So that would also be the case for tier 3. So yeah, forestry or agriculture wouldn't require it. In the latest draft, there's some allowance for, you know, additions on existing homes and small accessory structures. But at least in the current draft, if you're in tier 3 and you're putting up a new home, that would require a permit.
and even if it was, say, a deer camp, I'm seeing these rules basically putting an end to deer camps. I got a deer camp that's a mile out into the national forest.
Yeah, and at least the current draft of the tier 3, what's being mapped as tier 3, a lot of it is closer to roadways, because they're looking at kind of the habitat migration corridor. So it may be a more remote camp might actually not fall in tier 3. potentially. But I know at the presentation Alex gave a couple weeks ago, I know they're looking at, potentially exempting a single-family home, possibly. Also with tier 3, tier 3 might cover a corner of your property, but the rest of the property might not fall within tier 3. And if you build a house on that portion of the property that's not in tier 3, I don't believe that would trigger Act 250. It just happens if you're in that one area that's mapped. But again, they're in the drafting phase, so it'd be great. I encourage you, if Alex is able to come meet with the select board, it's very helpful to have him come in and answer questions. But there will be updated drafts and rules in the next couple of months, and so just for select board members of the public to just stay kind of up to date on what's going on and provide comments.
Judd?
Which tier covers duplexes, allowing already existing homes to become a duplex or future development and the ability in our zoning that it is not covered right now for multiplex homes, 4 unit, 5 unit, 6 unit homes?
That's a good question. I think I would say for tier 2, which is kind of the status quo, I believe the threshold is, it's either 5 or 6 units that would trigger Act 250. So if you were just converting a single family home to a duplex, that would not trigger it. In tier 3, I think if you weren't having to put on an addition, I think that would trigger Act 250. Again, the rules are being developed. So, and then for tier 1, tier 1B would exempt any residential project up to 50 units in size. So that would exempt quite a bit if it was a tier 1B area.
Any other questions? I don't have any at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Moving on to 7B. Coburn Way concern, Jessica Satera.
I was just texting with her to see why she wasn't here. And she said that she did not realize she was on the agenda and would come back to the select board if things are not resolved.
Okay.
Alright.
Do you have a good email for her? Because I tried a couple of them.
I can get you what I have.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Alright, moving on from there. Item 8, Liquor Commission if needed.
There is 3, well, it's all under ski magic, but there's 3 outdoor consumption, 3rd class and 1st class.
Oops, I only had first and third. What was the
Outside.
outdoor too?
Yeah,
Okay.
outside.
So we want to amend this motion to have outdoor consumption as well. You might have, I might have misinterpreted the acronym.
I move to approve a 1st and a 3rd and an outdoor consumption class liquor license for Ski Magic LLC.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 9, Roads and Bridges, 9A is updates.
I guess as y'all know, we've been dealing with some muddy roads and trying to get set for summertime projects and stuff. I guess that was one of the bring-ups is I'd like to not pave this year, maybe replace a couple of roads with new culverts like we did up on Hollow Road, but replace every culvert on the road, prep it for next year's paving. And I didn't know how. Tom and I have talked some, but
Well, you want to pave one thing.
yeah,
Salt shed.
Yeah, I'd like to pave in front of the salt shed. We get a lot of spillage on deliveries and, some falls out of the bucket over the side of the truck and we lose it. It's not being saved, and at $97 a ton this year, and who knows what it'll be next year. I think it'd be worth putting a pretty good sized apron out there to just, if we can push it back in the shed, and the salt shed is being filled up as we speak. I guess they're not coming tomorrow, but they're gonna start back up on Wednesday. You know, I haven't heard
Start with
anything.
the full shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, start the season with a full shed, hopefully. Hopefully it all fits, but, and, Mark Pickering called the other day, left a message, I think I sent it to Taylor, but
Said to both of us.
basically was get your bids out early, and so I don't know, maybe in
Do that now.
June, May, June,
I was
we
just
do
gonna
this.
ask about that,
We
yeah.
do the sand and salt bids. We talked about waiting until August to do the salt bids, but
Yeah,
maybe we'll do them all right, like we usually do, and,
Keep it front and center.
yeah, get it out there, and
all right, do you want them out soon?
That was Mark's, that's what his message
As soon as
said.
possible,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, I guess we can't really start till July, but if we get them out, know where it's coming from,
Yeah.
sometime in the next month would be
Okay.
probably not a bad idea, it sounds like. Like I said, if we can do the culvert projects, if you guys agree, I'll count them up and try to figure out where to go and how many.
Yeah, I think our conversation made sense, and a lot of it is kind of driven by budgeting. Our goal has been to be able to pave whole roads, so this year we'll have about $430,000, and it's just not enough money to pave a whole road, especially if we have culverts to do. So if we took, half of that budget this year and did culverts on Little Pond Road and Spring Hill Road, that work would be done in advance of the paving, and there wouldn't have to be any additional expense to the paving itself, so we could use the entire following year budget, plus a little if we have some left this year from just doing culverts instead of major paving projects. Then if we went in, if we had closer to 550 or 600,000, we have a better chance of doing a longer stretch, like Little Pond Road. I'm not sure the amount, like if we would go right from Route 11 to the dirt, or, I mean, it needs it, but.
We'd like to, do the apron on Shaves Road. I mean, that culvert would be involved in this replacement. There's a large one down on the bottom. I'm meeting with Scott Benson tomorrow after lunch to figure out if we can get away with just putting another culvert in there or not.
I think it seems like a little bit of a diversion from our plan, but I almost look at it more as
Money well spent.
money well spent, but sticking to our plan in the sense that we'd like to get the culverts done ahead of time, and using the money in advance and not the same year makes it more doable. I think this is kind of what it looks like, as opposed to a diversion of what it feels like we should be paving, but really, this is how we have to accomplish that.
You see Route 100 culverts, I mean, like I said, the ones on the hollow, they settled a little bit. In my experience is if you do them a year before, let them settle back in, and you're not wasting.
You got a better chance of
Yeah.
both of them
Keeping a good
sort of
smooth
aging
road,
out at
yeah.
the same time, as opposed to being, cutting up a new road or having them.
It only makes sense to get the culverts done and then pave, not do all of them, maybe leave one here or there like we have in the past.
Well, I mean, there's been, out of 25 years, that you put a paver road, the next summer you're replacing
Digging
it
it up to
over
do
somewhere
culverts.
else, so, try to stay ahead of the game
Well, I
and use
think
our money wisely.
it definitely feels like it's a wiser approach. It's definitely more long-term for each individual project, but I think you get more longevity out of the work that you're accomplishing too, and it kind of redirects everything, so that if we get on that rotation, it will eventually be more timely, I think. Right now, we're a little behind still, but mainly because of the cost of everything. To try to do this even 10 years ago, we could get twice as much done with the money that we had.
We just didn't have the money.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's the barrier that we have, I think.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Anybody else?
Fine with me.
And they're still waiting a truck. Troy said it was in the shop, they posted it online, so I don't know if that means it's getting prepped to go north to get built, but
One of these years?
I didn't call and check on it, but Troy sent me a picture of it, it was in the shop with the hood up. He was a little curious, 'cause that's the truck he's gonna drive, but I said, well, maybe they're prepping it to head to Maine, because they were waiting on a dump body for the truck that's up there. When that was put on and done, they were driving ours up, picking this one up, you know, doing a switch, and so hopefully.
How many years old will it be when you get it?
It's already a year old, is it? Close to it.
But they're saying 2 years. I mean, I saw a video on fire trucks the other night, I know South There's looking at one, and they're saying 5 years.
5
So,
years.
I would just
think
add
you guys.
one more thing.
4 years?
Um,
Two, 3.
With
We also
Hunter coming
went
back
through
to
something
remove the
different.
tank, I wondered if it would make sense to consider the overhang over the new tank because of the possibility of putting in 2 piers or figuring out if we even need piers. Maybe it could be just like an attached overhang or something, but if there's gonna be machinery there,
to do.
if we had the RFP ready or it
I
might
think
be.
it'd be worthy if the wind blows pretty good, and it's probably a good idea to cover it up, shelter at least the backside and the roof
Yeah,
over it.
Will told me that if we have overhangs, we have to apply for a permit. Just,
well, that could be done. I
Yeah.
think we
Could
could
be
probably
done.
go along with
That's
that
a
rule.
good thing.
And I think coupled with that proposal, the last time it was brought up was the ones here for the heat pumps, so I don't
Yes.
know. I mean, if we are serious about putting
Yeah.
that
Just
together.
put all the overhangs all in one project.
It might make sense
Yeah.
if there's equipment here and
Yeah.
a warm body to do the work.
Okay.
I did hit Hunter up Friday afternoon, I think it was, about getting that scheduled before we all hit summer and, you know, gets crazy. Well, we had a year, it's gotta be out of the ground, so, you know, we got all summer, but.
We say that, and then all of a sudden the leaves are gonna start changing and the snow will fly in.
That's kind of why I put the buggies yearly.
Yeah.
It's been on the schedule for a couple of years now,
Let's
the
get
power's
it done.
off, it's disconnected, so
Yeah, it's time.
and we kind of figured that we could extend the hose to fill our portable tank inside the front door and then fill our equipment. Because when he's digging that up, we're not, or we drive around back to fill up with the portable tank but I think it'll all work out,
Yeah.
so.
Sounds good. Is that all you got?
Yes, probably a lot more, but.
It's endless.
Alright, moving on to 9B, radar sign replacements. So we have one that's still down. We gotta send parts back to the company in Montreal. And Andrew from the road crew helped me get the one coming south on 100 working again. But we couldn't get the one by the credit union working.
Yeah, we could connect to it, but it wouldn't tell us anything except 188. So they thought maybe it was some connection on the motherboard, so we're sending that back.
Well, as soon as I get the form from them.
Right.
It's in box, ready to
It's
go.
in the box, it's ready to go. Yeah, so I think the discussion was possibly adding money in the budget for next year just to
Constant maintenance.
have
Yeah.
either have maintenance
Or
or
replacement.
replace them every year, whatever, as they die, yeah. It may make more sense just to replace them entirely instead of trying to troubleshoot
Then we'd have
them.
our own parts.
That's right.
Yeah,
Buy one new one every year.
yeah,
I know how to take them apart now.
Yeah, yeah,
and it took a very tiny little piece that was about the size of a speck
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I mean, I would assume that there's perpetual support to have these things. I mean, we have them and we would keep them. I mean, it's our duty to maintain them. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's, the only issue I encountered was that, I was on the side of the road with my phone and I couldn't hear anything, from the tech support, but, you know, that's okay, I can work with that. They're pretty easy signs to operate once you get them up.
And they don't seem to be insurable, right?
No.
Right, yeah, insurance.
I think
won't
I
cover.
asked VLCT and they said they wouldn't insure them.
I think they're a little too damageable to be
Oh, yeah.
insurable.
Yeah.
They're out there in the wild, so.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Every time the plow truck goes by, they lose like 10 years of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one by the credit union, rock or something just
Something
hit
hit
the
it,
sign
yeah.
above the actual radar feedback. And
I mean,
the control panel got broken off the whole thing, and I had to order
And that one's
parts off
protected with a
Amazon to put
guardrail,
it
so,
back together.
yeah.
They're pretty vulnerable.
But we got it back together, it just won't work.
Right,
Practice.
yeah.
Anything else on that one?
Nope, that was it. Heads up, we're gonna start buying radars.
Yeah.
9C, discuss Windy Rise Structures Grant, expires 12/30/2027.
Yeah, so that's basically, I'm trying to put this back on the radar, so to speak. Had tried to get some additional grant funding through CDBG VR in the fall, for this project. Not sure where else I could find some money for that. I did ask the state whether we could double up on another structures grant. They said no. That it wouldn't hurt to ask.
What do we have for that one, 200?
200,000. And I think, you know, the going rate for a box culvert is 600,000-ish, right? So we need another 400,000 at least. So I don't know, I just, putting it back on the radar for us to either fund in some other way, I don't know.
Is this something that, I mean, I'm meeting with Scott tomorrow. Should I take him to that one and get another input?
Yeah,
I was
sure.
thinking it was only a 6-foot box culvert, but he couldn't, it had to be a box culvert, it couldn't be a culvert.
Right,
Yeah,
not
it
a
has to be a box.
27-footer necessarily, like some of the others.
Yeah,
proposed,
I mean, yeah, if we get a quote.
I mean, I mentioned it to him this morning that that was on the agenda tonight.
Yeah.
Kinda perked up a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know if A&R would have anything for like clean water, getting the new culvert in.
I can look.
It's only a thought.
We can go for another TAP grant, but I'm
No.
reluctant to
No.
do that.
Well, and I was just gonna say, I think that we
Play
kinda
back.
ran into that on the Spring Hill Road one, where you accept money and it ends up costing you every bit of what you get.
Well,
right?
and it's
So-
also gotten really complicated, because we're dealing with Hoyle Tanner, we're dealing with GPI, and we're dealing with Hunter and Wyndham Regional Commission, so I've got 4 or 5 people
With their hands up.
with their, well, yes,
yet.
but also trying to coordinate putting in a box culvert.
Yeah, I don't think we should ever do another tax grant.
Good to know. So, yeah, so I don't know where we're gonna find that extra
That's been going on for
400,000, but I just
4
wanted
years
to,
now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I wanted to
Half
put
the
it
time
on
I've
the
been on the
radar, because, I assume if we wanna spend this money, we're gonna have to start construction next spring at the
Yeah.
latest, so,
Do they
that's it.
extend?
They extended the Spring Hill one, so they probably could, but probably not if we're not working on it, like,
They've extended the Spring Hill one like 3 times.
yeah, but that was a lot more because of, we couldn't get the easements and, you know, we were having,
Right, at
we were
least there was
actively
some
working on it.
activity, yeah.
So at this point, I'm not doing anything with it, so,
Maybe not, but,
yeah,
well, if it got too close or to a tipping point, then maybe we just ask them for an
Yeah,
extension.
yeah.
We're not up against the wall yet.
not yet, but I think we need to put it on the, you know, we need to find the
Next
funding, we need to find the funding, or just let it
Do it.
go.
And one thing I was just thinking is there's gonna be a company doing a culvert for the state right there next year.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we get it out to bid next year, we can piggyback off that, they're already on site.
Could be, yeah,
Might be a little cheaper at least.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh, at least they're saying they're gonna do that culvert next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. All right, that's all, just putting it back on everybody's plate.
Mhm. Always a good thing. Alright, 9D, review and approve storage tank agreement.
So this is a, what is this storage tank for? It's for the,
Chloride.
Dust
Chloride.
control.
so it's just a standard contract that for a period of, I think it's 3 years. Needs a signature and
I think we do it every year.
Yeah, every
3 years, isn't it?
this said, I don't know, the contract itself said 3.
I think they said
The
3-year
3
contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's there quick.
And they just automatically show up on
Rent it
it.
from them, they maintain it, and, you know, they had a guy come out and start the engine on the machine, the unit last year. It seems to work well.
I think it makes sense.
Anyone care to make that motion?
I move to approve the storage tank agreement between Innovative Surface Solutions and the town for a period of 3 years and authorize the town administrator to sign on behalf of the town.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9E, review and warn public notice to discontinue Monet Lane.
So this was something that the state alerted me to, I think. I feel like it was in the
That
fall.
was in the fall, yeah.
The original discussion was, did you ever declassify that road? It's this little stub that's just before, if you're coming from Chester, just before Scott Pet Lane Road. And it's right across from, what's that, Powder Mill?
Howard Hill.
Howard Hill. So I had to go by it like 10 times before I finally found it. There's a little bit of a bump out in the pavement, and if you look really hard, there is a path, sort of.
There
To
used to
nowhere.
be a bridge.
There
there.
used to be a bridge over the river, and the road used to go into Wyndham. And
Who
so
owns the bridge? I'm curious about that.
it was, well, the town owned the bridge.
Londonderry or Wyndham, though?
That's a good question, I have no idea.
The town lines the river, so. when
Well,
we-
that's why I was
So,
asking,
Which side of
because
the river?
Yeah.
Well, when we did with Scott
It's
Pet
not-
Road,
it's in New
I
Hampshire.
believe both towns paid for it.
Okay,
and we
Yeah.
have the same question on 121 too.
Yeah, I know that one was supposed to be both towns.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I
So-
understand it's both towns, but.
So back in like 1990 or something like that, the towns of Wyndham and Londonderry got together and they did the site visit and they sent out the letters for the abutters. And then they had the town hearing, the public hearing, and some people objected to it at that point. I assume the bridge was still around. And so it never went anywhere.
Long time, yeah.
But since then, I think the town has sort of assumed that that road is no longer a road. It's clearly not a class 3 road because there's no road there. We don't plow it. We don't maintain it at all. There's just nothing there. There's no bridge. It's
There's no
basically,
culvert.
there's
Well,
nothing there.
Essentially, the purpose of it has been replaced for a single landowner to go up Scott Pet Road
Right.
and across the bridge right next to it,
Right,
and then go out their driveway.
Right.
So,
so I've talked to the town of Wyndham Select Board. They are in favor of discontinuing the road. You all seemed to be in favor of discontinuing the road, so this is this next step. We warned this public hearing. We have a site visit. I think we decided
18th, May 18th?
May 18th, May
Yep.
18th, yeah.
I believe so.
and it's at the Wyndham Town Hall.
Well, the public hearing is at the Wyndham Town Hall. We had to decide, their meeting's at 5:30, your meeting's at 6, so, and they have another road that they want to discontinue as well, so it just made sense to do it that way.
Yep,
If
I was
you
just
all-
highlighting that, because,
Yeah.
just so people were paying attention to that.
So-
they're interested.
So the process is, there's letters that will go out to the abutters as soon as we warn this. This will get published too, it's a public hearing. letters will go out to the abutters. 3 of you hopefully will show up at 4:30 at Monnet Lane at 4:30, along with how many does Wyndham have? 5, 2? Do they have 5?
I think
No,
we
they have
have
3.
All right, so as long as 2 of them show up, we have a quorum, look at the road that isn't there, go to Wyndham Town Hall, have a public hearing, close the public hearing, vote to discontinue the road, and come here and move on with our lives.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Like we thought we did 30 years ago.
Exactly. Only this time we'll record it correctly. So if you're all in favor of that, then we can get this going, and I will contact Bob tomorrow to send out the letters.
I move to warn a public hearing for May 18th, 2026 at the Wyndham Town Hall at 5 p.m. for the purposes of declassifying Town Highway number 30, also known as Monet Lane, with a site visit to Monet Lane beforehand occurring at 4:30 p.m. on the same day.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 9F, review and approve fiscal year 26 TAP MHSMP grant award.
Okay, well, speaking of TAP grants, and getting things more expensive, so this is for the Spring Hill culvert. The state has awarded us an additional $300,000 for that culvert construction, and so we just I need you to approve it so that I can sign it, so that they can award it to us.
What's that leave us with on that one? It can't be much.
This has a match of $7,500, and I don't know whether that includes the original one.
75,000.
Per hundred, sweet. That's a good deal.
And so I don't know if there was an original match on the other one.
I'm sure there was.
So it's probably an additional 75,000.
Yeah. But that's gotta put us pretty close to.
It's
total.
been pretty,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it'll work out in the end.
Well, and maybe that's good news for another project like Windy Rise, even though we don't know where the money's coming from yet, we just keep pushing forward. and
Yeah.
Hopefully it comes from
It
somewhere
took
when we
like
need
10
it.
years to get Dairy Woods done, so
Yeah.
we're out of the game.
We're on track, even though it feels unlike that.
Anyone care to make that motion?
I move to accept the FY 26 TAP MHSMP grant award of $300,000 for the Spring Hill construction project, and to authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary to secure the grant on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 10, town officials business. 10A, town clerk. A1 is review and approve special town meeting warning.
We redid it.
We did redo it. It's right there. It's the new one.
That's the new one.
So,
We're not making a
So we
binding
took it-
outcome.
yeah, so we took it out of there and then we just put it as a non-binding.
And I'm, okay. I figured it got changed. I figured it got changed.
Do we read it out loud,
You
or?
probably should read it out
Yeah.
loud.
So the Article 1 is the one that was put off from the town meeting. Shall the town raise and appropriate a sum not to exceed $81,000 for the purpose of funding in part the salary and benefits of general office manager, or a portion of which salary and benefits will be shared by all departments within the town. Article 2, to transact any other business that may legally come before the meeting. Non-binding, shall the town of Londonderry authorize the select board to investigate purchasing one or more parcels of land for future use to be determined by a future town meeting. Those are your articles.
I move to approve the warning for the special town meeting to be held on May 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at the town hall.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll get that going.
We did,
Thank you.
I don't want to tell them how we added to the website a page with information.
Oh, yeah, we did. We added a page, because there were the reason this got delayed was people had questions. So we've added a page on the town clerk's
Yep.
page, about the position that was proposed. So there,
When the information will go up when this goes up later this week.
yeah. So go there to get your info,
information.
and feel free to call any of us to
Yeah,
to
ask any
discuss as well.
questions, but there'll be more information on the website about, trying to answer any of the questions that people had
I think we're
during
going to,
last town meeting.
we're gonna put it in the newspaper and send out postcards.
Yeah.
The warning.
Yes, we've done the last 2 special meetings that way,
Yeah.
postcards, so we'll do, continue.
Sounds good. 10B, Emergency Management Director. B1 is review and adopt Londonderry's LEMP for 2026.
So it's that time of year again, and Rich Phelan did the updates, and they are, I think I'm supposed to sign them actually, but they are in your packet,
Page 39.
probably. Sounds good.
Yes.
I think you just updated contacts.
Yeah, I believe that's what he said.
I still have assistant Andy.
What's that?
For a long time, she was listed
Oh, really?
as the assistant. You're the assistant to everything.
Anyone care to make a motion?
I move to adopt the town of Londonderry's local emergency management plan for 2026 and authorize the town administrator to sign on behalf of the town.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 10C, Planning Commission. C1 is bylaws update. Pam.
We had hoped to have another public hearing on April 13th, but we had a couple more glitches again, so it's rescheduled for April 27th with a presentation to the select board on May 18th, after which then it's my understanding that you would also have to have a public hearing about the bylaws.
Yeah,
Actually, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but that might give you a time frame to aim for.
Okay.
You said April 27th
April 27th.
at 6.
And then the select board would hear us on the 18th of May.
18th of May.
That's the one at Lane.
That's Modern Lane, yeah. That's okay, we can do lots of things on the same.
Lots of things can be happening on May 18th.
Alright, so that would be the public hearing.
That was the
Oops.
select board.
What did I just do?
Someone has a question, Tom?
I'm not sure if these meetings reach that level, but it kind of tied into the previous conversation that the town hall will be under construction
It'll
in
be
the
here.
near future.
That one will be very, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Didn't know if the follow-up was
We
big
may
enough.
even have it be hybrid, so people don't even have to be here.
The,
Maybe at home.
the voting.
The public hearing part, yeah.
Public hearing, okay,
Yeah.
great, cool.
Alright. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Alright, thank you.
Oops.
10D, Recreation Director. D1 is review and approve Pingree Park Tennis Court replacement proposal.
We were lucky enough to get 4 bids. And after careful comparison and communication, we have chosen the bid from Advantage Tennis. That's what we would recommend. Did you get the printout of all 4 and the comparison?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lot of similarities. I'm happy to break those down more if you need.
I just have a question that's like not related to this specifically, but does the town have a crusher? Do we like ever reuse asphalt to make it to gravel? Or like this is a too small a project, or I don't,
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for
Yeah.
what the town does, but I know that O'Brien will recycle it.
okay.
So we could bring it, well, can't bring it for free, but the dumping would be for free. They would take it.
I think typically the contractors, anybody
Take it,
dealing
and
with
then they crush
pavement or
it.
anything would do that, yeah. I happen to look out my front window at a giant pile of recycled asphalt in Hunter's Pit, which is probably from some of O'Brien's projects because they're,
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that this bid rose to the top for us is they actually contracted with Hunter. They reached out to both Chase and Hunter to ask about local,
Oh, that's good.
so we can keep our money a little closer to home.
Yeah.
So O'Brien will be doing our asphalt, and I imagine they will be taking our asphalt.
Good.
yeah, the town wouldn't have any other capacity, within our department
We can make a
necessarily.
pile, that's how much.
Put it in front of the salt shed.
Yeah, put it back together.
That's a different kind of recycling.
Anyone can make that motion?
I move to accept the proposal from Advantage Tennis Inc. to provide services relating to Pingree Park Tennis Court replacement estimated to cost $111,836. And 2, to authorize the town administrator to execute any documents necessary for the hiring of the contractor to conduct the necessary work.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And if anybody wanted to donate another 100, we could make it a double court. It's not too late.
Yeah, still time.
Where is it? Yeah.
The garage.
When is that?
Troy got it on his
You're
camera.
right by that.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, nobody's interested.
Just don't have that 100 grand.
It's on the camera, it's out there.
It's there.
Manifesting, right?
Yes.
Still have time.
10E, reappointment of committee/commissions and officials.
Okay,
You got a long
so,
list.
yeah, so, previously we had lots of people with terms that ended at really different times. And so I compiled a list. I took everybody who had a appointment that was ending this year, and I contacted all of them, and all of them responded except for Sharon Crossman and Bob Mason. So they should not be on the list, and I'm gonna still reach out to both of them, but, so Bob Macy is on the Development Review Board, and Sharon Crossman is on the Wastewater Committee and on the Town Hall Renovation Committee. So what I did was I put them all down there, made everybody's terms, whatever they are, expire on, as of 4/1/2026, oh no,
2027, yeah. Or what?
no, well, they start 2026, 4/1/2026, so whenever their terms end, it'll be on April 1st of whatever year their terms end. And we'll just keep doing that every year until they're all,
On the same
synchronized
schedule.
on the same schedule, and then we can just do them as a slate, and we won't be missing people anymore.
Sounds
Sounds
marvelous.
good. Anyone care to make that motion?
I have a question.
Chad?
I put in an application for the planning commission.
Yeah, we have you on for the next meeting, because this meeting was very long.
That's fine.
Okay.
I
Well, I
didn't
did
see
get
it-
it, I did
I
get
didn't
it.
see it in the packet,
Yeah.
but I wasn't sure if that was lumped in with this, that's all.
No, no, no,
Okay,
that'll be a separate.
that works.
I move to reappoint the slate of officers to their positions in terms as of 4/1/2026 as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 11, transfer station solid waste management. 11A is updates. The only update I have is the stump dump at the dump is getting very full, and Josh went and looked at it today. I didn't get a chance to do it today, I'll go tomorrow, but he said the road crew can't do it, and it's getting so full that we might either just might be able to stack some stuff up, or we might have to look for a new spot, or just close the stump dump. So I will be looking into that the next couple days.
Can we sell that stuff to Hunter depending on the?
We have talked to
Does he
Hunter.
get rid of it? I mean, he does the whole crushing thing.
We developed a plan with Hunter to do that, and then everybody in town got mad about his mulch piles at his landing there, so that kinda didn't work. But it might be worth going back to him. I don't know if we were gonna sell them to him, but.
feature.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't, if the town did get into an agreement with Hunter, you know, would he waive trucking? You know, would he just come and get it? Would he move his piece of machinery there? I mean,
I think you would just, instead of moving any of them, I would just redirect future supply.
yeah.
I mean, the only reason to do anything with them would be to make room for more, right?
Yeah,
But if we were to,
like you said, redirect. Right?
if we just said, you know, hey, we're not taking them anymore as a town, go see if Hunter will take them, you know, maybe that's an agreement that could be made, that he opens a facility that does what we were doing if we're out of space, but I don't think it'd be worth, or I don't know who would sign up for moving them, you know what I mean? So it's,
Okay, Hunter, come get it and you can
I think his plan was he'd come on site.
on-site.
And then mulch it there.
Yeah.
and it might be move the equipment in for like a short period of time and do the work and have room to let it stockpile and then come back at another interval to do it. So if we're not totally out of space, that's probably the first step, would be just make room for like a year supply or whatever interval supply, and then have somebody come in and deal with it.
Yeah, we have had that conversation. I know he even said he would take wood from people, but he will charge for it. So. That's the only update I have. Alright, moving on to item 12, old business. 12A, ratify George Morrow appointment.
I move to ratify the March 16th, 2026 decision to appoint George Mora as Londonderry's representative to the Wyndham Regional Commission for a term of 1 year.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And 12B, review and approve NRBC grant funding resolution.
Karen's here, talk about, the process of applying for the grant. Do you wanna say a few words?
Do you unmute her?
Do you unmute yourself? Can you hear us? We can't hear you, unfortunately.
It said mute when you put your thing up
Yeah.
there.
Okay, I think I just muted her. Nope. Ha. You waited all this time and now you can't talk. Let's see.
It says ask to unmute, so it must be on her and everything.
So I
And now
just
she-
muted
now it
her,
says
and
she's
now
muted.
ask to unmute.
Okay.
I think you did unmute yourself, didn't you?
No.
No, it says she's muted.
There,
Yeah.
how about now?
Okay. No?
No?
Wanna log out and log back on for her? Or she log out, log back in?
Let me see if does this have, we didn't try to
It says
have anybody talk.
Sally is muted too, so is it the same?
Wait, try now.
I think it's because
Try now.
No?
No?
Yeah, it's working.
Microphone's still on.
What?
I mean, she's saying, do you
Log
want her to
back
log
in.
out and log back
Yeah.
in?
You log out and you log back in, yeah, see what that does.
Why is Sally's name on there? I mean, this
She's
is,
listening.
Sally's just listening because she couldn't.
She's
oh,
taking
it doesn't write the name, it doesn't have the name of whoever's highlighted. Okay, I'm following along
Huh?
No, it's split screen.
now. Okay.
She's still on. She's still muted.
I think she's just frozen then.
She's now
Or she's
frozen.
frozen. Oh. When you put her in the waiting room and brought her back in, did that do something?
Did I break her?
It should have.
Goddamn Sam.
Oh.
Still says ask to unmute.
She's over, now she's down here.
Alright, let's see.
We still can't hear you.
Is her computer turned on? No, nothing.
It has the microphone though, so.
I think she's the one on the bottom now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
that's
not
the
here
one she
anymore.
looked at. Yeah, okay.
I don't know if I can get rid of that one.
Can you have Sally unmute to see if we can hear her?
That's good. That's a good. Sally, can we hear you?
Here, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so it's not.
I heard
us.
Oh,
Karen.
we can hear Karen.
Oh, can we hear you, Karen?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, yay.
Okay.
Whatever it was, I'm not moving.
Okay.
So we, Eileen and I have been working on the Northern Borders Regional Commission application. This will be for $800,000 for the second segment of your South Village wastewater construction project. So it's a two-part segment. We did the pre-application, which you have a copy of, and we were invited to apply to submit a formal application. So congratulations on that. That's a big step. And we were keeping our fingers crossed. So that will be due, as Eileen mentioned, April 17th. We're applying for NBRC, we're applying for about $800,000. We're also looking at an Economic Development Administration grant of around $380,000 that we will be applying for after this one. And then we have the bond, and we have another grant through the state that we will be using on this project as well for some of our match. So we're working through, we have everything that we need for the amount of money we need. We just have to work it through the budget and get it into categories where it will do the most for us. But we'll be looking to submit the NBRC grant next a couple of weeks, April 17th, not before, and the EDA following quickly after that. So I'll likely be back at your next meeting to do an approval for the authorizing official for the EDA one as well. But this is moving along. The nice thing about NDRC is we will hear about that grant by the end of June. So we hope that that will be a positive, that we will receive the award, which will mean that this project can go out to bid once all of the grant contracts are executed, and that you will be able to go out and do the bidding toward the end of the summer so that this project can start next spring. And you'll notice that we've called it Segment 2. We've completely separated it from the project that you're working on now through this summer so that we're not held up with the notice to proceed. It doesn't affect this project that you're working on now. So, because we wouldn't get the notice to proceed for this application until sometime late summer. So we're on track with everything. We're keeping a lot of things juggled, but we're doing well with that. So, fingers crossed, and tonight we're just here to get your review and approval of the authorizing official resolution. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for all your help on
Yeah,
this.
thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm determined you're going to get money for this project, so we're getting there.
We appreciate that.
Anyone care to make a motion?
I move to adopt the resolution for municipal authorizing official for the Northern Borders Regional Commission Catalyst Program Grant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Item 13, new business. 13A is approved letter of support for library.
So, Tom kind of already signed this letter, assuming that you would actually approve of it. But the select board, the library came came to us, asking for this letter of support, because the application was due like 2 weeks ago. I believe they're trying to find funding to do
Make a handicap.
make a handicap bathroom.
And accessibility.
Yeah, so,
You gotta sign that out.
Oh,
oh, that's the one that needs to be notarized.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
alright,
okay.
hold on to this one then, for a second.
So that's it. So if you could, please retroactively approve Tom signing the letter on your behalf, that'd be great.
I move to approve the letter of the South Londonderry Library Association's application for funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And who wants the last one?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.